let's do this thing called yoga. So we're going to go into child's pose. Let the knees come together for a sec. The feet come together if you can do that. Sit back so your seat spreads across the top of your feet. And reach your arms back behind you and loosely interlace your hands on the sacrum, which is the flat part of your back. So I don't want your arms straight. I want your arms very bent. Perfect. And if your forehead is having difficulty reaching the mat, slide a pillow or a block underneath the forehead so you can kind of elevate yourself. Yeah. Perfect. So Merrick we're just started child's pose with your feet and your knees together. Yeah, so sit back on your heels and loosely interlace your hands across your sacrum behind you. So it looks like this. If your forehead doesn't make it to the ground, slide something underneath. It looks like this. A little bend to your elbows. Just connect. Hey, hey. Child's pose. If you have lots of thoughts, that's good, but let them go right now. Yeah. So whatever your clasped hands is behind your back, interlace the opposite direction and loosely grab. Yes, your elbows have a pretty significant bend, so you're not jamming into the socket of your shoulders. You got it. And just breathe softly, steadily. Let yourself just find some space on your mat, some quiet time. Slide your arms all the way forward, anchor your palms to the mat, spread the palms really wide. There's a lift of your forearms from the ground, so you're already setting your arms up like you're arriving to dog, but we're not quite there. Yeah. Make subtle connections. Like that's what's great about the practice. You can just kind of move through some days, and other days, make subtle connections to maybe things you don't always think about. The sides of your arms, your baby fingers, your thumbs, your index fingers, press down. Curl the toes into the mat, lift the hips, come to a dog. Arrive in this first down dog, I recommend with a slight bend behind your knees. Yeah, if you're uber flexible and you're like, I'm ready to roll, then maybe your legs are straight. But for the majority of us, we need a little bit of time to get ourselves going, or a lot of time. Breathe your hips way up off your shoulders this morning. So we want to get out of our shoulder girdles and really begin to feel extension through the back side of your body. Let your head hang nice and soft. Pick a dristi, a focal point, if at all possible. Yeah. Yeah, and if you're feeling kind of like all over the place, that's okay. Like that's part of a moving meditation, and you're going to kind of come and go from the practice. You're not always just all in. Roll forward to a strong plank. So from dog to plank, you may need to walk it out a drop. Some of your dogs look a little shorter, and that's okay. Stack your body neatly and nicely. And I recommend leading with your heart. So as you lead with your heart and chest, you're not leading with your neck and your head. Your head is on straight, hopefully. Your outer triceps grip in. Your hands are firmly pressing into the mat. Your belly is drawing in and up, and your thighs are contracted. Outer ankles hug in. And I'll encourage you this morning to, as you lead with your chest, rock more weight forward onto your tippy toes. Perfect. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. And just pause in the pose and let the pose just be for a second. Run a lot of good energy and a lot of good breath from the crown of the head all the way to your heels, and from the heels to the crown of your head. Now drive a drop more weight forward to the front skinny edge of your mat. Yes. Lower very slowly, about 2 or 3 inches. So I want you to do a micro push-up. Micro push-up. May not even feel like you're going very far. Keep your head long, Michelle. Yes. Re-straighten your arms to a regular plank. Great. Hips up and back to a dog. So for a lot of us, even just doing baby push-ups are really working on the muscular level of our bodies. It's a great option. Come forward to a plank, roll all the way forward to a plank. It's almost like you have to stop yourself from going so deep into the pose, and you're going to feel something different. Lower 2 or 3 inches. So think micro bend of your elbows, a baby push-up. You may not feel a huge lower. Good. Keep the weight forward. Re-straighten your arms to a strong plank. Good. Hips up and back to a down dog. One more. Come forward. Plank position. You want to lead with your chest. Great. And then baby push-ups. So just micro bend a little bit. Re-straighten your arms to a plank. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Land your right foot all the way forward and through into a low lunge. Pause for a second. Lead with your chest. Drop your back knee on an angle. The toes are going to stay curled like this. Your right knee is directly over your right ankle. Your fingertips can be down on the ground, the floor, or blocks. And then bring your arms up. So crawl your arms up towards the sky. Breathe your chest forward. If your back is sensitive, back out. Good. Feel subtle things in your body. Right. Left hand's going to come down to the ground or to a block, which is great for a lot of us. It kind of brings the floor up. Right arm peels open. If extending your right arm up towards the sky feels too aggressive, your hand can just drift to the flat part of your back. This is going to give you a lot of good information this morning, that you stay aligned. Breathe your chest open. Grip your right hip in strong. And think subtle movements this morning. Keeping your left hand down and your right arm either up or on the flat part of your back, gradually engage your back left knee up off the ground. So now you're in an easy twist. Good. And if you find that keeping the knee down gives you a little bit more support, then you stay with that. Look sideways or look up. Hug the right hip in strong. Look to the floor. Both hands come down. Just move your block forward. Keep your right foot where it is. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. We're going to a triangle very early here. Pull up from somewhere on the front of your right shin and slide your left arm up towards the sky. When I take triangle, I always remind myself that the back left foot has got a strong turn and my front right knee is never pinned straight. My side ribs stay long and I'm out of my low back for sure. There's a sensation that you're leaning back ever so slightly, but by all means, this is not a back bend. This is more of side body opening. Hug the hips in super strong. Look up with your eyes if you can and create a strong shape in your body. Look to the floor, circle both hands down. Peel your left heel, you're back in this lunge, step to a plank. Lower halfway now to a push-up or that baby push-up or supported push-up, pause. Lead with your heart and chest for your first up dog if you're taking. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Land your left foot all the way forward and through. Come to your fingertips, pause for a second. Lead with your chest. Drop your back knee on an angle. Keep the toes curled into the mat. Set up is key. Bring your arms up. If coming forward like this doesn't feel great, back out of the pose. Be a little bit more upright. Feel your left hip hug in strong. Energetically reach your fingertips up towards the sky. Look up with your eyes. Right hand comes down to the floor or block, left arm peels. So just go into a supported easy twist before you just go all the way. Notice the left hip, it likes to wing out. So grip it in strong. And then staying rooted, slowly begin to engage the back right knee into an easy twist. So do it slow so you can really feel the muscles contract and the body align. Look sideways or look up, stack the body, breathe. Activate the back leg more. Look to the floor, both hands come down. Keep your feet where they are. Just turn your back foot on an angle, straighten the left leg and pull up into a triangle from the ground up. Anywhere on the front of that left shin is great. You can even pop up a little higher if the lower back feels sensitive. These look great. Focus on little things like your outer hips. your feet spreading wide across the mat, your breath flowing steadily and evenly through your body. Just don't go to the pose and be there. Like, we can make more of it. It's pretty neat. Stay with it another breath or two. Look to the floor, circle both hands down. Let your back heel pop off first, so you're back in that low lunge. So frame it out, then slide back to a plank. So move with control this morning. Then lower halfway to a chaturanga. Pull yourself through an up dog or a baby cobra, or if you're omitting back bends, take it out. Downward facing dog, hips press back. Yeah, so I'm like you, Kristen. I'm just doing push-ups. I'm not doing the back bend. And then back to dog. So anything works. Look to the top of the mat. You can step your feet there this morning. Arrive slowly, or some of us, it's more of a crawl. When you arrive, long spine, come to your fingertips, or hands to your shins works great. Exhale, fold into yourself. Let your head go. Try that again. Come to the fingertips, or hands just slide and press into your shins. Keep your weight forward, neck is long. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. As you reach up towards the sky, reach high through your fingertips. Feel the sides of your body hug in, and then drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Look up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your weight pull you forward. Come to the fingertips to prepare you. Step to plank. Just step to plank for this first one. I know a lot of us are really energized. Halfway down to a push-up, or you just do what you're doing. Upward facing, press firm through your hands and the tops of your feet. Nice. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Look to the top of the mat, step or float your feet there. If you're feeling a little bit more bouncy this morning, go for it. Long spine, keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Go big. Drag your hands to prayer at heart and drop your arms. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Reach up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your weight pull you forward. Long spine to prepare. Step or float through your version of a vinyasa at this point. So some of us are just going to step to plank and pause. Other of us are going to add 5 push-ups. Upward facing is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. I mean, Nancy, you definitely upgraded your view. I see blue water behind you, so that's a good thing. Yeah. Look to the top of the mat, step or float your feet there. Long spine weight is forward. It's better than gray New Jersey. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. It's either that or it's bitter cold and you don't want to be outside. Hands to prayer, drop your arms. Let's keep going. 2 more. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. It's okay, Joel. Yep. Long spine sets you up. Step or float through a vinyasa. Upward facing slides you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. Just try and get your kind of like mojo going. Press firm through your hands. Feel your arms really activated. Look to the top of the mat. Step or float your feet there. Long spine when you arrive. Weight is forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Go big. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. 1 more. Arms stretch straight up. Go big. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. We always want to bend those knees, protect the back. Long spine sets you up. Step or float through your version of a vinyasa. Upward facing dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Roll forward to plank position for me. Yeah. Lead with your heart or chest. Activate your arms. Lift your right foot just an inch and let it hover. Yeah. Keep your eyes fixed on the front edge of your mat. This is a great dristy point. Hug your right knee in. Hug it in nice and tight. Yeah. So the right thigh is lifted away from the ground and the arms are straight up and down. Without your hips moving, slide your right foot back. Don't let your right foot touch. Let it hover. Lower the right foot. Lift the left foot an inch. Draw the left knee in towards the navel. Squeeze in nice and tight. Keep your eyes fixed, your belly scooping out. Without too much moving, slide the left foot back. Let the foot hover the mat for a second, and then lower it to the floor. Keep the hips nice and aligned. Stack your body. Bend your elbows in half to a chaturanga push-up. Re-straighten your arms to plank position. One more time for shits and giggles. Lift the right foot, let it hover. Hug the right knee in. So as little movement as you can, but feel it everywhere. Slide the right foot back, let the foot hover. Then lower the foot to the floor. Slow is going to win here. Lift the left foot an inch. Hug the left knee in. Scoop out the belly, arms straight up and down. Slide the left foot back, let it hover, and then lower it plank. Hips up and back dog. Exhale all the breath out. Step your right foot forward and through. Come up crescent lunge. Always know you can modify if something's going on in your body. You can always drop the back knee to the floor. Totally fine. Be here in crescent lunge for a second. Get heavier in your front leg. Feel the strength of your back left leg. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Be on your fingertips. Slingshot your left foot forward, hips width distance. And now you're lining your feet up at the top of the mat, hips width. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. With your feet separated, hips width distance, come into chair like this. Stick your butt way back. Your arms are going up. The lower half of the body is going down. You're heavy in the lower half of the body. Dive over, bent knees forward, fold, let your head go. Keep your feet like this. Long spine sets it up. Guide your left leg back. Left leg steps back. Keep your right foot where it is beyond your fingertips. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Hug your right thigh and your hip in. Really feel the strength of that back left leg. Bring your arms back and hover over your right thigh. Press strong through your feet and legs and then come up, warrior one. If back is sensitive, pitch forward a little. If you're okay, straight up and down is what we're going for. Turn the left ribs forward, anchor through the feet and the legs. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. Let the meditation kind of kick in. Don't push away the feeling. Let your body feel as it kind of arrives to the practice. Hands to the floor, plank position. Halfway to a push-up chaturanga. Re-straighten your arms to plank. Hips up and back dog, I gotcha. Left foot lands, crescent lunge, just go right up. Get the setup and pull yourself up. Stance is wide enough, it's long enough. The hip points are forward. You feel that your alignment is really supporting you. You're heavy in your front thigh. Your back leg is nice and strong, so you're not sitting back. Fix your eyes and just breathe. Another big breath in, stay with it. Hands come down to frame your front foot. I want you to tense your fingertips. Keep your left foot where it is and kind of spring your right foot forward, hips width or a little bit wider. Long spine, weight stays forward. Exhale, fold. Sit deep into chair. Weight goes into your heels. Keep your feet separated for this version of chair, at least hips width distance. Lower body nice and heavy. Upper body's moving up. Sit deep. Dive over, bent knees forward, fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, find a lot of space. Left foot's gonna stay, right leg's gonna guide back. Grip your left hip in strong, be on your fingertips. Turn your back foot on a strong angle, so immediately that left hip wants to pop out. Hug it in. Turn that back foot strong and then reach your arms back and hover. So it's like you're gonna fly. Get heavy in that front thigh. Spin your right ribs forward. Press strong and then come up, warrior one. Back is sensitive, pitch forward a little. You can widen your stance if you feel like your stance needs a little bit more length, or tighten it up, depending on you. Steer the right ribs forward. Press strong through the back right foot. And then settle in for a breath or two, feel. Hands to the floor. Move yourself to a vinyasa right now, however that works best. Meet in a down dog. Yes. Arms stay nice and straight. Feel your hands press firm. Look to the top of the mat. Step or float your feet there. Long spine when you arrive. Exhale, fold. Sit into a regular chair. So you may have found that your feet naturally drift together. For some of us with lower back sensitivity, feet separated any amount that works for you. The goal is to have the legs very strong. So you're getting heavy in the lower half of the body. So sit a little deeper. Weight should be in your heels. Keep breathing. No angry yoga this morning. Shoot up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Here we go. From the top, arms slide straight up towards the sky. Sit deeply into a chair. Stick your butt back when you get to chair. I mean, like you're at home. No one's even there. Yeah, stick your butt way back. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare you. Step or float through your version of a vinyasa. So your version of a vinyasa can be anything. You can be creative. Good, Trace. Nice. When you get to down dog, land your right foot forward, warrior one. If you're nursing an injury and crescent lunge feels better for your back or your body, you take that. Hands come down to frame your front foot, vinyasa or not. Yeah, it could be a trianka, which is a one-legged push-up. When you get to dog, left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Just make sure if you're, whatever you're picking, your stance is wide enough so your right ribs can turn forward. There you go. Hands come down, move through a vinyasa. You just do the other side, Tracy. It's okay. You'll catch up with us. You went on sleep mode. Hands come down, vinyasa. Upward facing, point the toes. Hips up and back, downward facing. I mean, by 9:30 in the morning, it feels like you've been up for like 2 days because we get up, it's like pitch dark out. You're making a lunch. You don't even know what's going on. Look to the top of the mat, step or float your feet there. Get there nice and light. So just come to the top of that mat, Michelle. It's okay. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Shoot up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Here we go from the top. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Sit deeply into a chair. Yeah, really sit. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your weight pull you forward. And your head just goes. Long spine sets you up. Step or float through your vinyasa. Yeah, if you want to hop back, go for it. Up dog, smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands on your own beat. Warrior one or any variation of that. Come on up. Hands come down through a vinyasa. Find what works. Up dog is smooth. Press strong through your hands and the tops of the feet. Nice. Hips up and back, down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns. Come on up, crescent or warrior one. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Move through a vinyasa. Upward facing dog, smooth transition. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet there. Get there lightly and effectively. Long spine, keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Shoot up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. One more, here we go. Arms slide straight up towards the sky, sit deeply into a chair. Move your weight way back into your heels. Yeah, and then you can really get into your thighs. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your weight pull you forward. Long spine sets you up, step or float through a vinyasa that works. Nice and easy. Up dog pulls you through, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Nice and smooth. Right foot forward, back foot turns, a version of warrior one that works, that feels good for you. Hands come down through a vinyasa or not. So not moving too fast, not moving too slow, just finding what works. Yeah. When you're ready, the left foot lands, the back foot turns, warrior one. Setup is everything. Feel what you're doing. Back down we go through a vinyasa. Upward facing point. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank. Let your right foot hover an inch, just an inch. Yeah. Without anything moving too much, right knee pulls in towards the navel. So I say that, relatively speaking. Things are going to move, but you won't want to have too much movement. Look forward with your eyes as you hug your right knee towards your navel. Don't step the foot forward, just hug the knee in. Yeah. And then slide it back to a three-legged plank without the foot touching yet. Just let it hover. Do it slow. Lower the right foot down. Okay, lift the left foot just an inch. Hug the left knee in. Do it slow and keep your eyes fixed on the skinny edge of your mat. Outer arms hug in. So their leg may not get near you. It may be kind of far. It's okay. Just think about scooping out your belly. We're getting hot, taking off layers of clothes. Slide the left foot back. Let it hover the mat. Do it really, really slow. Lower the foot down. You're in plank. Hips up and back dog. In your down dog, slide your feet together so they touch. Then roll forward to plank and lean onto your right hand for a Vashi Sasana side plank. Yeah. So any variation that works for your body here, you can drop your knee. Yeah. You can drop to your forearm too if that feels better in your body. But the goal is to stack nicely. So your feet are stacked, relatively speaking, your hips are stacked and your shoulders are stacked. That's what we're looking for here. Yep. You got it. Stay with it because we're going to be in for a few extra breaths. So in your side plank, left arm's extending up. Lift the left foot about an inch or two from your right foot. So it's just going to hover. Yeah. So slide your body so it's aligned nicely and just hover the foot about an inch or two, like there's a little ball in between your 2 feet. Lower the foot down slow. Plank position. Hold plank with your feet together. Lean on your left hand. Vashi Sasana side plank. Modify here. So think little movements. So if your knee is down, what you can do is just work on lifting the leg up, kind of like in a mended half moon pose, right? So if you're in this side plank or forearm side plank, think about just lifting your foot away from the other foot, like 2 inches, like a little amount. So it hovers. Yes. It's a lot harder to do that than lift the leg way up, right? Just see if you can hover it and draw the outer hips in. Draw the navel in. Keep the breath flowing. Lower the foot slow with control and then take it to a plank. You were like, I'm getting the hell out of this thing. Chaturanga Dandasana if you feel like it. Upward facing dog if that feels good in your body. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Exhale all the breath out. Look to the top of the mat. Step or float your feet there this morning. Long spine, keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Yeah, encourage the thighs to drop down and the upper body to move up. Slide your hands to prayer at heart. Inhale your breath. Hook the elbow, twist to the right. So if lower back is sensitive, you can just definitely stay up a little bit more upright. An air twist this morning. You can have your feet separated. You don't have to get in there. You can just kind of hover. Work on the 2 knees staying aligned, the shins and the feet. Everything nice and aligned. If you're able to bring the feet together and get in there, hook the elbow deeply, look sideways, look up. Keep moving the weight back into your heels. Maybe open up your arms any amount that works for you today. So as we hold the pose, the weight wants to transfer forward. Keep the weight moving back. Heavy in your legs, pull around to a strong chair. Recommit right here. Slide the hands to prayer. Stay in it, stay with it. Inhale the breath, exhale, take it to the left. So get in there the best that you can. Watch that the right knee doesn't slide past the left. Keep the weight back in your heels. Look sideways, look up. Maybe open up your arms today if that's for you, or just be here. Stay heavy in your legs, chair. Drop down 2 inches deeper in chair and hold. Weight stays in your heels, lift your chest, look up with your eyes, shoot up to stand up, drag your hands to prayer. At the top of your mat, stand on your left leg, draw your right leg up into a tree pose. Yeah, you can use your hands to do it. Tree may look like this, it may be lower down on your calf, depending on your balance and your flexibility. Bring your hands to prayer. Good, grow the branches of your tree if that feels good for you. Keep hugging your hips in. Draw the side ribs and the waist up. Look up with your eyes. For the most advanced version of this, you work on closing your eyes. It's a little trippy. Yeah. If that's too much, just work on moving your eyes and looking up without your head and your neck dropping back. Keep your arms moving up, okay? Don't let your arms drop for the next few cycles of breath. Float your right foot away from your inner thigh so it looks like this. It's hovering. The shape of your hip didn't change at all. Your arms are keep energizing up. Your hip points are forward and your outer hips are working strong. Cross your right ankle over that left thigh and make a figure 4. Sit into chair, flex your right foot strong. Keep moving your weight all the way back. And then get in there. You're going to hook the elbows in and bring the hands to a prayer. It's going to look like this. Yeah, if you're at the top of your mat and you have the use of your blocks, you can slide them underneath your hands. Perfect. I like the hands in prayer and kind of catting the back of the triceps to the front of the shin, but feeling like you're not collapsing. That's the difference. Yeah, you want to keep the chest really open. That's why for a lot of us, the blocks are really a game changer. Right. The game changer here is that you can really create the strong shape, which I mean is a strong flex of your right foot, strong in your hips as you bend, and my chest isn't rounded. I'm leading with my chest and my heart. My neck is neutral. Keep looking forward with your eyes. Stay with it a few more breaths. Weight stays in the standing left heel, and the breath is flowing. So see if you can do this at the same time. Your hands to your hips, press to stand, lower the right foot to the floor. Just stand for a second. Bend your left leg up, tree pose. Yeah, get your outer hips to hug in, bring your hands to prayer. Find your focus and your breath, and then grow the branches of your tree. Sometimes it's even nice to have your arms straight out. You could play with that if you have the space. The arms out with the palms up is kind of nice. Work on your drishti, your focus, maybe even closing your eyes for a breath or two and see how that kind of plays in the asana. The imperfections of this pose make the pose interesting, right? So when you wobble a little and you feel a little unsteady, that's what we're looking for. Keep the arms moving up. Float the foot away from the inner thigh. It could just be like an inch or two, but keep the toes pointing down and don't let your left hip open anymore. Yep. Stand up a little taller, reach a little higher. Keep the arms moving up. Cross the ankle over the thigh and then get real heavy in your legs as you start to sit. You may even need to slide this foot so you can get a little bit more aligned. And then you can come forward and get in there. Yeah. You can use those blocks. You can float your hands in prayer. You want to lead with your chest and really create a strong shape. Flex the foot strong and then be here and breathe because we're holding for a whole bunch of breaths. Think of your standing right leg like a strong chair. So sit deeper. Stick your butt way back. Nice. Fix your eyes, keep your focus and your balance, hands at your hips at the same time, press yourself up, lower the foot to the floor. So at the top of your mat is where you're at. Your feet are hips width distance. Reach your arms straight up towards the sky. Dive over, bent knees forward, fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. So just move at this point. Good. Getting to down dog, step your right foot smack in between your hands, turn your back foot on a strong angle, cartwheel open, warrior 2. We haven't been here yet. Take up a lot of space in your mat this morning. Yeah. Take your hands to your hips. Press with your hands, your hips down, but your side body elevates up. Yeah. So give your hips a little bit of energy, like your left hip kind of hugs in and your right thigh and hip drops down. Roll the right thigh open and then open up your arms. Warrior two and hold. Yeah. Fix your eyes. Make sure that back toe is slightly turned in, your left toes. Yep. Breathe your heart and your chest open. Close your eyes right here if they're not already. 3 more breaths. Keep wrapping that right thigh open. Stay with it. Good. Blink your eyes open. Lead with your right hand and slide your arm. Start with your arm on the top of your thigh, actually. Rest your arm on the top of your thigh, your right arm. Perfect. Soften your right shoulder. Slide your left arm straight up towards the sky. And then if this feels good, slide your hand down to the outside of your foot. Go to the outside of your foot today. Yeah, and if you need a block, place a block there, any height that works for you. What you want to feel in this pose is your outer right hip kind of glute area cramping up. That's kind of what it feels like sometimes in this pose, hugging in. Yeah. So you're stacking your 2 arms, or you're wrapping your left arm forward like a bow and an arrow. So the outer part of your left foot is so strong into the ground that that energy from the left foot is running straight through your left fingertips, either straight up or wrapping up and forward. If your arm is just on the top of your thigh, be really, really mindful that your right arm is soft and light. Your outer right hips continue to grip in, and your bottom ribs turn towards the ceiling or the sky. The breath continues to flow as the pose gets a little bit more challenging to hold. If the arm drifted up and forward, slide it straight up towards the sky, okay? Look to the floor, move the block with you for half moon. If you're cramped for space, do your best. I like the block on the highest setting. Yeah, I've gotten in a habit of doing that. I don't know if that's a good thing. I probably should work on pulling it down a little, but I want the length of the side body very, very long. And then stack your body here. So some days this pose is blissful and seamless. Other days it's a struggle to like find your foot, right? So wherever you're at, it's okay. Spark up your left toes super strong, spin your bottom ribs and stack yourself up. If you're feeling the need to bind it up here. Reach with your left hand, but remind yourself that you're grabbing behind. So you're not grabbing up. The foot slides right behind the sacrum, which is the flat part of your back, and the kick would go behind you. That's the back bend. The bottom ribs continue to spin open. And as you play with the balance here, you may fall. That's okay. Get back. Try it again. These look great. If you bound, just unravel yourself regular half moon. The transition to warrior two is slow. So almost you have to premeditate on it. See if you can do it very, very mindfully. Right. Step back, warrior two. Perfect. Take a second to reestablish the stance and the alignment. And then once you do that, flip your palm, reverse the warrior. When you reverse the warrior, keep bending heavy into your standing right thigh. And then come back through warrior two. And this time rest your hand on the instep of your foot. Yeah. If you're going to go back, arm on the top of your thigh, this is fine because now we're going to add the half bind. So you're going to wrap your left hand to your hip or wrap it behind you. So it's either going to look arm on top of thigh with a half bind or hand to hip, or hand on the instep of your foot to the floor or to a block as you lean back into it. Twist the chest open, anchor heavy through your feet and your legs, and breathe with control. That's it. The right hip likes to kind of butt itself out. So hug it underneath, turn those bottom ribs. And then the last few breaths, guys, let's try this. For those of you that have your hand down on the floor or the block, I want you to pull your hand away from the floor or the block and flex the palm strong. So it's going to hover the floor or the block like this. Keep doing what you're doing. Your hand is no longer touching the floor though. Yes, if you went for the option with the hand down to floor lock. Grip the right hip in strong, flex the right hand. Yep, so it's hovering the ground. 2 more. Unravel your left arm, warrior 2, pull it out. I know you're gonna hate me. Look forward, take it to the floor, vinyasa. Exhale all the breath out. Good, step your left foot forward. Come on up, warrior 2. Other side. Yeah, set yourself up here. Take a few moments. Side body long, arms energized, heavy in your front thigh. And then close your eyes and just be in warrior 2 for a bunch of breaths. Yes, and remind yourself that your side ribs are long and there's no turn of those ribs. So you should be facing, your body should be stacked in between the 2 hips. Good, and then what starts to happen is you start to have a mental game like, I don't think I can hold my arms anymore. My arms are tired, my legs are tired. Just change the thought process and just breathe. Breathe your heart and your chest open and spread a little bit more energy across that back arm. You got it. Anchor and sit a little deeper. You've got a little bit more in you, I see. Stay committed, heavy in your legs. Reach out with your left hand. Start with your arm resting on the top of the thigh, everybody. Even if you practice, 14 times a week. Good for you. Rest your arm on the top of your thigh to start. You should be super light so your shoulder is far away from your ear. It's almost like you can move your arm and your arm isn't doing anything. If you want to travel further, I want you to go to the outside of your foot. This is the A variation of extended side angle. And the use of a block can be very, very helpful. Keep wrapping your left thigh open. What I mean by that is the back of your left leg and the inside of your left arm are making a connection. Now, your right arm can be straight up or it can be wrapping up and forward. Hug your left hip in strong, turn your bottom ribs, and breathe. Couple more breaths. Notice where your energy starts to go as you tire. Okay, stay heavy in the leg, right arm straight up, hand can slide to your hip, reach out with the block, and let's go for it, half moon. If you're near a wall and you're like, hey, I think I need the wall today, lean up against that wall and set yourself up here. Right hand on that hip, spark up those toes. Just reminding you guys, the left foot, the standing left foot should be like Tadasana, and the hip is hugging in, so there should be no turn. That's it. And then you embellish here. You're like, I feel great. I want to float the bottom hand. Good for you. Maybe you want to bind the top leg. Maybe you're dancing around the mat, whatever it may be. Find your sweet spot. And if you fall out, try again. Release any fancy stuff. Transition slow, warrior 2. Yeah, you kind of have to premeditate on it. Step back, take a moment to find the pose, wrap the left thigh open, broaden across the arms and the torso. And then let's flip the palm together to reverse the warrior. Let's reverse that warrior. Stay heavy in the front thigh. You shouldn't feel jammy in your low back. You're finding extension. Come back, extended side angle B. So now you're bringing your hand to the instep of your foot or your arm to the top of your thigh. And then you're going to wrap into a half bind or a full bind. What's great about doing this pose, you really feel the openness of the collarbone and the chest. Keep hugging that left hip in. Breathe, get heavy in your legs. Then for the last little bit, play a little here. If your hand is on the floor of the block, Lift it up, grip the hip in, and then flex the left palm strong. So now it's hovering the ground and you're really using the lower half of the body. Hug that left hip in neatly, turn the ribs and stay with it. Unravel your right arm, warrior two. Take it to the floor, vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Yep, take it through a vinyasa, downward facing dog. Here we go. Right foot lands, crescent lunge. Keeping it going, crescent lunge. Come on up. Slide your hands to prayer at heart. Inhale that breath, hook the elbow, take it to a twist. So you're twisting to the right, guys. Just reminding you that your right front foot and your back left foot are roughly hips width distance. If your right foot is in the center of your mat and it's in the same line as your back foot, you're going to go right into your low back. Yeah. You can air twist or you could stay upright. Yeah, that looks good, Mare. But you want to get in there and you want to hook and twist. You want to feel like you're leaning back a tiny bit so the crown of the head lines up with your back foot. Activate all those muscles across that back left thigh and quadricep. There you go. Stay with it, Steph. Couple more. Grip your right hip in, twist open. Hands to frame your front foot. Listen carefully. We're going to creep low. So you're going to straighten your right leg. You're going to turn the right toes in. You're going to come down the center for wide leg straddle. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Exhale, fold. You can walk your hands to the center of your feet like chaturanga, like arms, and then take your torso closer to the front of your thighs. If you have a tripod headstand or an inversion practice, this would be the place to go up. If not, you're just bringing your weight enough forward that your hips are lifted super high. So you're creating the illusion of an inversion. Okay, this is one thing, because I see a bunch of you who are like easily in the pose. So if your head is resting on the ground, you got to walk your feet much closer together. There you go. And then bend behind your knees always. If you go up, split your legs apart. All sorts of things are happening at Katie's house. Yes. Oh, that looks good. I like. The rest of us are just hanging upside down. Yeah. If you have bedroom furniture in front of you, be careful. So if you went up with your legs, split them open, lower them halfway, and then lower them slow to the floor. Good. So come to the fingertips, long spine, everybody. Your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. And all I need you to do is walk your hands towards your left foot and then pivot. Walk the left foot over to the left, activate your back leg, and facing the back edge of your mat, crescent lunge. So even if you're not facing the camera anymore, it's fine. Crescent lunge facing the back of the house. Drag the hands to prayer. Inhale your breath. Lean out, hook the elbow, and twist. You're taking a magical carpet ride this morning. Lean back and twist open. Modify if you need. Listen to what your body needs. Your right elbow, Michelle, is hooking to the outside of your left thigh. There you go. Even in this cockamamie view of you I have. Yes, I was able to see that. Good job. All right, stay with it, guys. A few more breaths. Activate your back leg. Ride out the exhale and twist open. Look to the floor, place both hands down. You're staying facing this direction. Don't worry about moving. Step back to plank. Lower halfway down to a chaturanga. Pull yourself through a smooth up dog if you're still taking those. Hips up and back, downward facing. Facing the same direction, just slide your right foot forward. Step your right foot forward and step your back foot in about 3 feet. So you're about 3 feet distance between your 2 feet. Bring your hands to your hips. Come halfway up. Come the rest of the way up. So just facing the back edge of the mat with your right foot forward and your left leg back about 3 feet. You don't need your block for this. Right hand on your hip, Left arm extends up. You're going to reach out and you're going to slide your hand this morning towards your front right shin. Your right hand stays on your hip or can slide to the flat part of your back. Anchor strong through your legs and your hips. I don't need you to use your block here. It's actually a totally different exercise, doing it blockless. Press your left hand firm into your right shin. Hug your outer hips in. Lengthen the tailbone. Lengthen the spine. Look sideways, look up. Maybe stack your top arm. Here we are in twisting triangle without a block. Breathe as you exhale the breath and twist open a little more. On the next sharp exhale breath, you're going to cartwheel to the top of the mat. You're just going to pivot yourself around and just switch the legs. So it's just going to look like this. You're just going to pivot, and then the left foot turns forward towards the front edge of the mat, and the right leg faces back. And now you're just facing the same direction. Left hand on your hip, right arm extends up. It's kind of a fun transition. Come halfway down, slide your hand to the flat part of your back, come the rest of the way down, and want your hand on the front of your left shin today as you press. Find your alignment, lengthen, and twist open. Twisting triangle facing the front edge of the mat with your left foot forward. Everyone's got it. Less is more, especially when we do twisting. If you feel like you're going into your lower back, think of extension of the spine, anchoring your legs in your outer hips. Press your hand, Steph, more into the front of your shin. So that's where you're creating your, like the strong connection, and then twist here with your little ribs. One more big breath in. That looks great, Rima. Hands to frame your front foot. Step to a dog. Just step to a dog. In your down dog, drop to your forearms for dolphin pose. We're almost there. It's good news. So be in a dolphin pose. Kristen, if you can't do this, come to tabletop position and do independent side leg lifts. So right leg would go back. Yeah, perfect. You're in a dolphin pose, guys. Walk out to a forearm plank. Yes. Yeah, lead with your chest. Perfect. Make sure your elbows aren't super wide out. They should be underneath you. I like the palms spread wide, or you can clasp your hands today. You could also do forearm plank with your knees down on the ground if this is too aggressive. Ride out the exhale breath. Bring a little bit more weight forward. We're staying a few more. These look good. Good. Lower all the way down to your belly. Just lower down, and you're going to go into Sphinx. Yeah. So Sphinx pose looks like this, guys. So on your belly, and your elbows come a little further out like this. Yeah. With your left arm forward, reach back with your right arm and grab your right ankle. Keep your left arm is still in Sphinx pose. And I just want you to fire up your right foot into your right hand. And you don't even have to lift the leg too far up off the ground unless you have that in you. Look forward with your eyes. Keep spinning your chest forward. Flex your right foot strong and point your left toes as your left palm presses firm into the mat. This is the back bend. Keep both hip points down and the chest moving forward. Release the right leg, Sphinx pose. Your elbows are a little bit further out. Yeah, like I'm demonstrating. Keep the right arm down, bend the left leg up. Reach for the outer part of your ankle. I want you to grab the outside of your ankle. Catch your hand into your foot into your hand. Fire up the thigh. Keep the knees together. So your right arm and your body stays in Sphinx, but you're in a half bind. Fire up the left leg. Kick up and back. Spin the chest forward. Breathe your heart up off the floor as you fire up that left psoas and glute. Let go of the foot, Sphinx pose. You got it. Walk your arms back under, curl the toes, forearm plank. One hand at a time, plank position. Hips up and back, dog. Good. Slide your right knee forward. Let's go to a half pigeon right here. Yeah. Yeah, let your whole body just kind of fall into this pigeon. Downward facing dog, just slide your left leg forward, half pigeon, stay in the trance. Let your whole body, but more importantly, your mind just go. Use the strength of your body, start to come up. And as you come up, lean onto your left side, swing your right leg forward. Both legs go out in front of you. Yeah. Inhale the breath, stretch your arms straight up towards the sky. Exhale, come forward for Poshma Tanasana. Grab the outer blades of your feet. If you can't reach your feet, bend your knees. Lead a little with your chest. Flex all 10 toes. Good. And then pull your torso up, okay? Bend your knees in half like this. Reach your hands back and reverse tabletop, okay? Pull yourself up just like this, reverse tabletop. Lengthen the tailbone. Exhale the breath, let it go. So we're going to add the individual ankle to knee on each side, and then we're going to be done. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh, and then inhale the breath, exhale, lift yourself up. See how you did with that. Yes, you got to breathe your tailbone up. You might not get as high. That's okay. Exhale the breath, lower the tailbone first, and then lower the foot to the floor. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. So do that first, make the connection, and then exhale the breath, lift it up. I think it's better to go from the ground up with the setup, and then you pull yourself up. Exhale the breath, lower down, lower the left foot down, hug the knees in towards the chest, and lay down on your backs. Yeah, reach for the outer blades of your feet for happy baby. Pull the knees down around the rib cage. And then I like this for a spine twist, guys. From your happy baby, if you have a block, take it the long way in between your thighs. Okay, my block's in between my thighs. Lift the hips to the left and then drop the knees to the right with the block in between the thighs. And then keeping the block in between the thighs, just lift the hips up, swing the hips a little to the right, drop the knees to the left with the block in between the thighs and twist. Come up to center, remove any objects in the way. And for the best and the most advanced pose, Shavasana it is. Complete restoration right here. For the next 2 minutes, let your body and your mind drift off. Make yourself comfortable. Take a big, big breath in and a full, complete exhale breath out. Let yourself just go. Hug your knees softly in towards your chest. Give a little squeeze in. And you can either rock straight up or you can rock to the side and then press yourself up. And then sit up for a second. It's so good at the end. Just take a moment to pause. Because we go through the day and we don't really pause, or we feel like we're pausing, but we're not. So just sit up and pause for a second and feel. Hands to prayer, bow your head with gratitude always. Namaste. We'll go again next week. Next Wednesday and Friday, I will do Zoom. And then I hope to be back in person at Inner Spirit on Thursday, starting February. See you soon.